Yeah, it suddenly got disconnected. I don't know what happened. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It got disconnected. I don't know. Everything just went off. I don't know what happened. Okay. So we'll start on the hiring part. Yeah. So we're discussing about the hiring, right? So hiring is the stage when we have finally decided on whom to take. Just give me a minute. Okay. So hiring process starts when you have selected the candidate, okay, for one position or maybe for 10 positions out of all the applications and after all the reviews and after all the interviews, you have finally come to a conclusion of hiring these number of people. Okay, their names and skills and everything, all the information you have. Now you are going to give them an offer letter. Okay, so your hiring process starts from offer generation. Okay, both of you have seen the offer letter, how it looks like. You have seen. Nirmala, have you seen an offer letter? You have. Okay. So offer letter is generally a very brief one-pager document which communicates to the employee that you are being hired for this position. Okay. You're supposed to join from this date and your salary will be this much. So the compensation and what all benefits are going to be offered to the candidate, that will be mentioned in the offer letter. That's it. Okay, nothing more than that. Right, so that is the offer letter from the employer, the company, to the candidates. Okay, and generally an offer letter is to be signed by the HR. Okay, it is to be handed over by the HR through an email or personally handing over by an HR and not from the line manager or the operations or the general manager. Okay, so HR needs to know how much we are offering to the person, at what level, and when is the date of joining. Okay, so that would be an offer letter generation. Fine. So offer negotiation and all has to happen before that. Okay, suppose the candidate will ask for his salary is 30,000 in his last company and he's asking for 40,000 from us, okay, from the present company, but we don't have that budget. Okay, we are supposed to pay him maximum 35 or 36,000. So there we will have to start our negotiation. Okay, and we will talk about all other benefits, like you'll have PF and ESIC, or maybe so a person who's above 30,000 will be eligible for medical insurance and all that. So if your company is giving medical insurance facilities, so you'll have to convince the candidate that, see, the salary we are offering is a little lesser than what you're expected, to what you expected, but these are the other benefits that we are giving you. Okay, so PF itself is another saving component for him, right? So if he's contributing 1,250 rupees in PF from his salary, the employer also contributes the same amount, right? So his saving is there. right? So when later we are doing the salary structure, I will explain to you all these things. Okay, what is CTC, what is net income, what is gross income. So all that I will explain to you in our later classes. Okay, so the offer letter will have just the name, position, date of joining, and the salary offered. So negotiation should happen before the candidate joins and the offer letter is given. Okay. And then offer letter generation, once the candidate says, okay, I'm fine with this salary and this date of joining, if the candidate, after you talk to him over the phone or talk to him personally, he says, okay, I'm fine with this, then you generate the offer letter. The HR, somebody from the HR department, either you or the authorized person, will sign on the offer letter and then hand over the offer letter to that person. But this is not a proof that the candidate is an employee of your organization till now. Okay, it is just an offer letter. So that person might accept or might reject. Sometimes what happens, candidates accept the offer letter, still they don't join. Right? Have you noticed this? Have you come across a situation like that where you offer the person, you give the offer letter, but the candidate does not join? Right? So that is no proof that the candidate is a part of your organization till he joins and he signs the appointment letter. Okay. Fine. So you get all the documents collected, you verify the documents like the ID proof, especially the ID proof and the experience letter. So whatever he has spoken about, what experience he has, how many years he has worked. So all that verification needs to be done, right? Whether that experience letter is genuine or not. So based on the last experience only, you'll decide on the offer, correct? So that all needs to be checked, all that needs to be verified before he joins the company. Okay, otherwise you'll be offering the wrong person. You'll be offering the wrong amount to the wrong person. Okay. Fine. So then the last stage of recruitment and selection is onboarding. Okay. And as an HR, you will have to ensure that the onboarding process is done very, very, very smoothly. Okay, because 80% of the retention plan that we spoke about yesterday, the second stage of employee life cycle, you remember, was employee retention, right? So this retention of employee staying in your organization for long all depends on how he is being welcomed in the organization. Fine. So that is the onboarding process. The first instance when an employee enters into the organization, that experience will make him decide whether he wants to be in that organization or not. Okay, and 20% of employees leave an organization within 45 days of joining. Do you know that? Because of their joining experience. So we as an HR department will be very, very responsible. We will be accountable to ensure that this particular onboarding process is done very smoothly. Okay, if you do not make that person welcomed, if you do not have a preparation on how that person is going to be welcomed to the organization, then the game is over for you. You'll have to start looking for another resource. Right. So what is the onboarding process? Have you done the joining for anybody? Have you done the joining process for anybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Bhavna, I think you're on mute.
Oh, yes, it was. And now you can hear me?
Yeah. Tell me, Nirmala, so you've done the joining, right? So what are the different activities that you've done on an employee's joining date?
Ma'am, firstly, we offer them an offer letter.
Okay.
Then if they are interested, then they will come and appointment letter will be signed.
Okay. And on the date of joining, what else do you do?
On the date of joining.
Yeah. So the onboarding process that we are talking about is from the date of joining. Okay, so it could be depending on your plan. For 1 week, it may last. It may last only for 1 day. Or for certain companies now, to ensure that onboarding process is done properly, it goes even for 6 months. Okay.
We introduce them to other employees.
Okay. Yeah. Then show them around the company and right. Okay. Fine. Yeah. So that would come under company orientation and induction program. Okay. And welcoming and all that.
Just to give gift also.
Yeah, so that would correct. So we can kind of glorify that process of, onboarding them. Maybe later he's going to be, laid left and right with all the kind of pressure and all the huge workload. But on that first day and the first week or the first month, you need to glorify the process of hiring that person, right? Yeah. So, okay. First day, generally, the onboarding formalities that we do is we give them the appointment letter. So, Nirmala, now that you know, offer letter is generally given before the candidate joins. Okay. Till now, you were practicing offer letter being given on the date of joining and all that. So, offer letter needs to be given to the person before he joins to help him decide whether he wants to join the organization or not. Okay. And on the date of joining, okay, he decides, okay, fine, he signs the offer letter and then he'll tell you, ma'am, I'm going to come and join. Okay. But I think the battery is good. Just give me a minute. Yes. Okay. So finally he decides to join, and on that day of joining, you give him an appointment letter, not the offer letter. Fine. So appointment letter will have his designation, will have his all the policies of your company. Okay, will have his reporting manager's name. Fine. You will say, okay, you are supposed to report to duty on this date. There's something wrong with my system. Just give me a minute. I'll just plug in the charger. Okay. Okay. So you can see me, right? You can see the slides.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So on the first day, I was telling you, we'll issue them the appointment letter and all the forms that you have. Okay, you need to make them fill the joining forms. They need to fill their name and date of birth. You need for the ID cards for your records, right? You need the date of birth and you need their parents' name. Suppose you're enrolling them for any medical facility, so all the parents' name with date of birth, etc., needs to be given. Is my screen flickering?
No. No. No.
Okay, but it is here. I don't know what's wrong. Okay. And you allot him the workstation. So we have to make sure before an employee joins, his workstation, where he's going to sit, okay, his email ID, okay, if he's supposed to be given a phone or a SIM card, all that is ready. Where he needs to sit, his computer, everything is ready before he joins. Okay, so that on the date of joining, all this is ready, the employee feels very happy. Now you don't ask the employee, okay, where do you want to sit, and okay, which place should I allocate to you now, and all that. So that makes the person feel like, okay, so the company is not prepared to have me on board. Okay, so that confusion should not be there when an employee joins. So all that decision needs to be taken well in advance. All his computer system and email IDs and phone and whatever he requires, stationery, everything should be in place at the time of joining. Okay, and like how Nirmala said, company orientation, introducing the new joinee to the team. Okay, having maybe, if you do not have a big conference room also, maybe you just gather around a common area and you introduce him to the rest of the team. Okay, see, this is this person, Mr. X, who has joined in this capacity. He is designated as this, and he is joining this particular team. Okay, and he will be helping us with these tasks. Just a small introduction. It'll be an icebreaker for him and the team so that they can start talking. Okay, so that he's being welcomed. And then you buddy him up with somebody from his team. Okay, they can go for lunch together, because for few days at least he needs some company, right? So you buddy him up with someone so that he feels at home, he feels around friends. So it is the duty of an HR to do all that, make sure. Okay, you'll have to understand that. Sometimes we have to act as a mother to the whole company. Yeah. So we'll have to, kind of, all are my kids and I'm the mother, I have to take care of them. So, you will hear this word quite often also. HR is our mother. And if it's a guy, then he's going to be a father. Okay. So it is like that. So you'll have to ensure all these things are done. And like Bhavna said, kind of you offer a bouquet to him, to a kind of a game session, maybe in the evening, like how I used to do is I used to host a hot seat. Okay, so the new employee used to sit on a hot seat couch and then just talk about himself to the rest of the team. Okay, everybody used to welcome and ask questions, like how like they want to know that person more. And the new joinee also, if he wants to ask anybody something from the crowd, somebody in the crowd, he wants to know more about that person or whatever. So it's a kind of an icebreaker session. So you can just think through what all you can do and maybe ask that person to showcase his talent, like maybe sing or dance or talk about his experiences, the best experiences in life. So it can be a kind of a gelling session for the employee, for the new employee with the rest of the team. Okay. And next is, yeah, the most important part is you'll have to ensure that the reporting manager whom he's going to report to explains to him what his job is going to be. Okay, he needs to know what job he is going to perform, and a KRA form will be there. That is the key results areas. Yesterday we discussed about KPI, which is key performance indicators, where we that will help us measure the performance. But KRAs are it is a set of responsibilities that is defined for a person. Okay, the job role. Sorry.
The full form of KRA?
Key result area. Okay, so this defines his roles and responsibilities. So this needs to be given to the new employee. Okay, later on, if his, he is going to be asked about whether you're doing your job right or not, then you can sit, both the employee and the manager can sit together and discuss about the points. Okay, obviously it cannot.
Aunty, your voice is cracking.
My voice is breaking.
I can't hear you clearly.
You can't hear me. Okay. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, because I think there's some network issue. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Nirmala, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me. Okay. Bhavna, was my voice clear to you throughout or was it breaking?
No, it was clear to me.
It was breaking.
No, it was clear to me.
Okay. Nirmala, it is clear to you now? Or it's still breaking?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, fine. So yeah, so the KRA part you've understood, right? And then yeah, making an onboarding plan. Okay, like what for this particular onboarding thing, like what are the plans that you made? Like I need to issue. You can make a checklist, like appointment letter issued, workstation allocated, email IDs given, and company orientation done or not done, any welcome ceremony is done or not done. So you can prepare a checklist for yourself to ensure that the onboarding process is smooth. Okay, so as I told you, this particular process of welcoming an employee to the company is very, very important. So it depends on how you welcome the employee to the company. It decides whether that person is going to stay with the company or not. So they say, no, first impression is the last impression, right? So this is the first impression that you're giving about the company. Okay, and you are the leaders as an HR to set a good impression about the company to the new employee. Okay. Now I explained to you about the job analysis earlier. Right. So the difference between job analysis and job description. So see, in the beginning of recruitment, when you start recruiting people, job analysis was a terminology that came up. Remember when we were doing the manpower planning thing? Yeah, I told you I'll explain it to you in the later slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you what job analysis is. You can make a note. It is the process of gathering and analyzing information about the content and human requirements of jobs. So whatever it is required, whatever content or whatever requirement is there, for this particular job, that job analysis will help you. Like you analyze whatever is required for this job. Okay, like you analyze what kind of a role it is going to be. Okay, how many people I need to take in. I explained to you earlier, no? So what is the, kind of the person or the nature of work? So all job analysis is going to help you gather all this information. So gathering all the important information which is necessary for this job is called job analysis. Okay, and what is job description? So job description will be an information document, okay, which will tell you what kind of a person I need and what kind of a role is that person going to perform. Okay, so that is job description. So this slide will also be shared with you, like how I shared the other slides with you yesterday. I am going to send you this as well so that you can refer to it later. Okay, so job description is an informative document of the scope, duties, what task and responsibilities this particular role will have, okay, in the organization. And this conclusion we will have come to this conclusion through job analysis. That means job analysis is nothing but more of a research. Okay, you try to understand what is required for the job. Okay, so job description will also have what qualification I need, what are the skills that I need for this job role, okay, and how many years experience and all that. Okay, so job description is going to detail out all that. So I'll give you an example of a job description here. See, so we were hiring for a purchase engineer. Okay, for one of the companies, engineering companies in Bangalore. and see the job description that they have shared with us. So what is the designation going to be? It's going to be purchase engineer for which company? It is for Carl Beckham Lubricants. Okay. And qualification. So for a purchase engineer, what is the qualification that we're looking for? So that is MSc Chemistry with good academic records from a reputed institution. Okay, what is the experience level? 4 to 6 years. What is the age bracket? Because why age bracket? Because they need to fit into the current employee culture, or you can say the current employee strength that you have. If they are too young, they'll have a different mindset. If they are too old, then the present crowd, they'll have a different mindset. They will not be able to gel in, right? So depending on the current employee strength, the current age of the current employee strength, this age bracket will be defined. Okay, and what the person will do after joining, sourcing raw material and blah blah blah. So what is expected out of him? That will be detailed out. So where is the job location? It's in Bangalore. And what is the annual CTC going to be like? So all this in detail is called the job description. Okay. You're describing what kind of a job is going to be. But all the research work when you do, that is called job analysis. Okay. This is another example of job description. See, this is for finance and administration. So this is for the accounts profile. Okay, again for Bangalore. And here, see, they have listed out what kind of skill required expertise here. Can you see? They need a commerce graduate with 0 to 1 year experience. They should have all this basic accounting knowledge. Okay, they should know how to follow desktop procedures, all SOPs they should be following, and accountability and ownership. So these are the kind of nature of the resource that they require. So all these details will be given in the job description. Okay, you understood? Fine. So we will take a short break now. After that, we will do the manpower budgeting. Okay.
Okay.
You relax.
At 1.
Okay.
We'll be back on 1
At 1. Correct.
o'clock.
Okay. Fine. See you then.
Bye bye.